being down there. Anyway, nice to meet you. I'm glad you could come over. Thank you very much. Very much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mayor Mark Boughton from the city of Danbury. Mike, thank you for having this event. It's my pleasure to be here. I just got a few things to say. One, please vote for me and have a great night. Yeah, you thought you were going to get away that early, yeah? All right, I'll be quick. I know it's a little warm in here. Folks have been tied up. Look, quick bio about myself. I was born and raised in the city of Danbury. I was educated in Danbury Public Schools. I attended Central Connecticut State University, where I have a Bachelor of Science degree in education. I attended Western Connecticut State University, where I have a Master's of Science degree in education. I was a teacher for 14 years. I taught social studies at Danbury High School. I got involved in politics at the local level, came on the Planning Commission on one of our local land use boards. From there, I ran for the state legislature. I was elected in 1998 from the 138th district. I was reelected in 2000 by about 70% of the vote from the same district. I served in the planning committee, the environment committee, the education committee, and the internship committee. In 2001, I ran for mayor in Danbury, and I was elected. And I've been elected in 03, 04, 05, 07, and 09, all by 65% plus margins. See, we know how to win in Danbury. We're going to teach everybody how to win in Danbury, in Connecticut. Let me tell you how we're going to do that. When I first got elected in 2001, we have a 21-member council. I had 17 Democrats and 4 Republicans. In 2003, I had 17 Republicans and 4 Democrats. Right. That's what I'm talking about. And we've maintained a supermajority every single election since. So how do we do it? We did it by being a team. And part of the challenge that we have here as Republicans in Connecticut is that we don't quite have a team. We sort of have the Senate Republicans, the House Republicans. By the way, it's great to see Ruth Farback back there, who's retired, but she's an awesome legislator. There's Ruth. We love you, Ruth. She retired. She looks like she's 26. Awesome job. And but too often times we'll see the various caucuses along with the governor's office sort of at not at each other's throats, but not sort of working together, not being on the same platform, not putting together a strategic plan to manage and govern the state. In Danbury, we do that. We work together very closely, our elected body, and certainly my administration. Let me also just say that we need to do 3 things. As I mentioned earlier, I was a teacher. I used to hear about the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, right? We need to have the 3 R's of governing. Very simply, we need to rebuild, reshape, and rethink. First of all, we need to rebuild our economy, which is in shambles. We're hemorrhaging jobs every single month. We have to turn that around, and the way we do that is we have to have an economic development strategy that works. And right now we don't have that. In fact, the Department of Economic and Community Development just issued their report. I don't know if anybody read it, but it's 565 pages long, and there are 66 separate points. Go home and read it. I know, don't get so excited. And think about the world that we live in today. We're dealing with CEOs that have to be in Moscow on Thursday and they have to be in Shanghai on Wednesday. They don't have time to read a 565-page position paper. They don't have time to listen to our 66 points. They don't have time to do anything but to make a decision about where they want to locate their business, or whether they want to stay in Connecticut, or whether they want to expand their business in Connecticut. So we have what I call paralysis by analysis. We sort of never get anything accomplished, but we're really good studiers in Connecticut, and we write great reports, just like school. But what we need to do is transcend those reports to action. And remember, this is a world we're living in that by a single keystroke, a CEO can move $1 billion from Tokyo to New York and New York to Tokyo. They don't have time to listen to our long-term strategic plan that is ill-thought and doesn't bring any coherency to our strategy. We have a diffused amount of economic development organizations. Think about them, right? DECD, Connecticut Innovations, CDA. We have a lot of regional organizations, all due respect to ours, that concentrate on economic development. We also have a lot of local economic development agencies, and all of them spend their time butting heads against each other, chasing the same dollar. Folks, we need a single point of entry where I can take that CEO and say, this gentleman or this lady wants to locate their business in Connecticut, take this ball, offer them an a la carte menu of incentives to come to Connecticut, work with your local government, and let's bring the jobs here. And better yet, let's help a local business expand and hire more people. That's what your government ought to be doing. We ought to be setting the playing field, throw everybody on the field, and say those are the rules, and let's create jobs and unleash the entrepreneurial spirit that exists within us. So we need to rebuild our economy. Secondly, we need to reshape our government. We have a 20th century organizational structure trying to deal with the challenges of the 21st century. It's not effective. It's too big. It's too broad. It's too difficult to manage. It's too unwieldy. We can't be the agile government that we need to be successful here in the 21st century. We need to look at every single level of government, every department, and look for efficiencies. You know, folks, let me ask you a question. I'll get you to participate here a little bit. I want you to raise your hand if you ever dealt with the DEP. Raise your hands. Okay. Raise your hand if you ever dealt with the Department of Public Health. Okay, just a little bit more. How about the DOT? Yeah. State Traffic Commission? Department of Public Works? How about the DMV? How'd you like that torture? Painful, right? Why is it painful? There's good people that work in those organizations. It's painful because the attitude, the culture that pervades across our institutions is that we're here not to help you and be your partner. We're here in some ways to throw up roadblocks. And if that's happening at your municipal level with a mayor or first selectman, imagine what's happening to a business that wants to build a building in Connecticut. Folks, they throw up their hands and walk away. It's not worth the aggravation when they can go to not just South Carolina or North Carolina. Now they can go to Brazil, they can go to Russia, they can go to India, and they can go to China. So we need to rethink how we deliver our services. We need to, and to certainly reshape how our departments interact with each other. And I mentioned rethinking a little bit because I think it's critical. I think too often times it feels like that we work for Connecticut and Connecticut doesn't work for us. And that's got to change. And too often it feels like that the government's spending more time worrying about everybody else but not worrying about the biggest group of people in Connecticut, and that's the middle class. Folks, the middle class are the ones that are under the most pressure in this economic recession. They're the ones that have lost jobs, have their 401ks blown up. But nobody's talking about them. And that's a problem. We have to think about that. We have to understand that if we're going to maintain our economic vitality, we have to maintain a strong middle class. And so when I say rethink our government, it means that when we look forward into the future, whatever our government does, the more efficient, the leaner, the more agile, the smaller government, and people are absolutely right, the owner is absolutely right, it's bizarre that the largest employer in the state of Connecticut is the state of Connecticut with 55,000 employees. There's something just strange about that. And certainly it's something we have to look at. But the fact of the matter is that we have to constantly visionary in our approach and put the middle class of this state first and foremost in every single thing we do. Create the playing field, reshape our government, and certainly rethink what Connecticut's future will look like. So I'm proud and honored to be here. I'm going to wrap it up there because I know you've had a long night and I'm dying for some of that pizza. And I'll certainly be circulating if you have any questions or concerns. Just real quick, too, I want to mention, if you're over by the western side of the state, you know, Danbury's there, was the last town before you hit New York, 684. But if you're over there, when you drive through, I want you to know that you're passing through the community that has the lowest crime rate in the state of Connecticut and one of the lowest crime rates in the United States of America. I want you to drive through that community and look around and say, this community has the lowest unemployment rate in the state of Connecticut and one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country. I also want you, when you drive through, say this has the lowest property taxes in the state of Connecticut and the lowest sewer and water rates in the state of Connecticut. That's how you get business done, and that's what we're going to do for the middle class in Connecticut. So please vote for me. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.